working on your mindset, you can say your mental fitness is the exact same way you work on your physical fitness. If you want to go out and let's say run a marathon or run a mile, if you've never trained your body to run a mile, that mile is going to be tough. But if you train your legs and your body, you can run a mile. It's the same thing for your mental fitness. If you want to be able to not let pet peeves peeve you anymore, not let little things bother you anymore, you have to train your mind as if you're going to the gym.
Hello, my fellow humans, and welcome to the Multiverse Technology Podcast. Today's guest is Colin Thompson, a TEDx speaker, certified coach, and founder of Oligye Enterprises in Shanghai, who empowers people to recover imagination, build mental fitness, and leave with clarity in chaotic times. Colin, welcome to the podcast today.
So, Justin, I think you know that your mind can be your best friend or your worst enemy. And I hope to leave a message to your people, to your community, such that they understand that your mind should always be your best friend.
I concur with that. For me, it used to be my enemy for a long time. My nervous system was all out of whack. So I feel that. Thank
Yeah,
you.
for most people, unfortunately, for most people, it's the worst enemy.
We'll definitely get into that. I'd like to understand more where you're coming from with that. If you could take us on your journey, what created Colin and what you're doing right now and how you're helping people?
Well, I'll give it a science answer.
Yeah.
Mr. and Mrs. Thompson, created Colin, but I'll tell you what they did. My family's from Jamaica, and if you know about Jamaica, and let me just say this: blessings to all the people who made it through the hurricane that had there a few weeks ago. My family immigrated from small, warm, hot Jamaica to big, cold Canada, and then immigrated again to the U.S. I'm not sure if you heard about the immigrant mindset, which is very, very real. When my parents got to the US, it was all about hustle. It was all about working hard. So growing up being immigrants to the US, the Jamaican, I always had that go hard, go hard. You can, whatever you want to accomplish, you can work hard and get it. Now in the US, there are certain structures set up against that. But despite that, my parents and their message always won the day, so to speak. So I was always about empowerment, empowering myself and then empowering other people. And part of who I am, what led me to explore outside of the United States back in 2006 was my this decision to really explore and try to empower myself outside the United States. So luckily in 2007, excuse me, I left the US to go to China with IBM. I was very, very fortunate to get there in that year. And from that time I landed in Shenzhen, China in 2007, I always tried to continue to explore, meet new people, learn about humans. I think the question was, anyway, to learn about humans. And that's really what my story is. Always trying to learn, always trying to empower.
I love that. We're all about humanity on this show and try and create better human beings through any means that we're able to. So we all have different stories to tell. We all come at that a different way. So I appreciate you sharing that, especially about the immigrant hustle. I have heard about that. Where you work so hard, but sometimes you work too hard. You work yourself into the ground, you know?
Well, it's really more about you work so hard to leak because now I've lived, different places on the planet. I've worked there, different places on the planet. I've met people from all over the place, and one thing I can tell you, the United States, despite the politics, whatever, is still the land of milk and honey, and people work hard to leave their circumstances to get to the U.S. One thing about the U.S., if you make minimum wage for you, you can still afford a house. It may be a bad house, not a good house, but you still have opportunity.
Yeah.
So the immigrant hustle is we've worked so hard to leave our current environment to get somewhere better. Once we get to the US, we're gonna blow it up. I'm not it's not literally,
Whoa.
we're going to make it work, right? We're gonna make it work,
Yeah.
and then we're going to bring our cousins over, we're gonna bring family over. That's how we do it. So it's so that mindset is really about going somewhere and taking full advantage. And growing up with one thing, sadly, growing up, my parents, used to always say, "Wow, these Americans are so lazy." right? Because because they weren't working hard because they were here, right? So anyway, the immigrant mindset is really about going somewhere, making it work, and then pulling the rest of your family with you.
I love that. I know you said Americans are lazy. There is some truth to that because a lot of people don't understand what work ethic is or know how to work for stuff. They want it handed to them over here,
Right.
unfortunately. And there is a lot of that around here. But then there's also people like that that actually work pretty hard, understand what work ethic,
Mhm,
accountability, and mindset is,
mhm.
which I do want to get into as you were talking about earlier.
Absolutely. And we talk about mindset. I think mindset it's funny. When does mindset start? I think mindset starts most likely really in high school. I think in high school is when you start to feel yourself. You start to really understand. Your parents give you your parents give you more room to grow, and that's when you're really in your head a lot. So mindset and how you shift mindset really starts when you're I'm gonna say a teenager, and it doesn't stop. And if you have the wrong mindset, it takes a lot. It takes a lot to really get that better, appropriate mindset.
I love that because I know when I was a teenager growing up, my mindset was not right. I didn't really realize or understand that I could change it myself as I got older out of high school. Growing up like as a teenager, everyone tells you, do this, do this, do this, and you'll succeed. You'll make something of yourself. You'll make money. And so much noise and stuff. But as we get older, we realize to kind of limit that noise and really find what works for us and then really getting our mindset right. A lot of people never
Yeah,
find out how to do that, what that even means. Hopefully, we can help them
yeah.
with that today.
Yeah, yeah, and I think when you think about mindset, I look at mindset as really the voices that talk to you, your inner voices, your inner voices. The inner voices, when they talk to you, are they pumping you up or are they pulling you down? And unfortunately, as I mentioned earlier, unfortunately, a lot of our inner voices are telling us, "You can't do that. Well, you messed up. You're not smart enough. They're smarter than
Yeah.
you. You're too short. Oh, you're too tall. You're too fat. You're too skinny." Right?
They're
Um,
not the right color, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, it's and
And that's okay.
so yeah, and so many years of that, like I was saying earlier, that really messes with your nervous system. And then your nervous system is stuck in that fight or flight and doesn't know how to regulate itself. And then you have to retrain that all over again.
And that's okay, because I think it's from my experience, I should say, from my experience, it's all about improvement. It's all about knowing yourself and really, really not supporting yourself, but really accepting yourself. Once you accept yourself as you are, then you're ready to work on your mindset. And working on your mindset is the same way excuse me, working on your mindset, you can say your mental fitness is the exact same way you work on your physical fitness. If you want to go out and run a, let's say, run a marathon or run a mile, if you've never trained your body to run a mile, that mile is going to be tough. But if you train your legs and your body, you can run a mile. It's the same thing for your mental fitness. If you want to be able to not let pet peeves peeve you anymore, how little things bother you anymore, you have to train your mind as if you're going to the gym. That's why when you run into people who bother you, when you run into pet peeves, be thankful because those are the things you need to work on. Because once, for example, if let's say, I'm not sure what pet peeves you have, but one pet peeve I used to have was my wife leaving the microwave door open. Okay, and don't ask me why it bothered me. It just bothered me. Okay, the light is on, or wasting power, and I used to always get mad. I'd walk to the microwave door and I slam it shut just so that she heard me slam it right. Why did the microwave door open again? Bam. And after a while, I said, wait a second, Colin. This is the perfect way to start training your mind such that it doesn't bother me. Because a lot of times when people want to improve their mindset, they want to start with something very, very heavy. I'm very, very strong. And they fail. So, no, don't
20
try
steps
to
ahead.
exactly. Start with something very, very small, a little pet peeve. Pet peeve is a thing that gets you mad for 10 minutes, right? Start there. So I just said, when I see I said, Colin, if the microwave door is open, walk over to it and just close it. And that's what I started doing. And after a while, I forgot it ever bothered me. So that's how you have to start training your mind. When we get triggered, you have to start training your mind such that you're no longer being triggered by the same things.
I love that, and I could probably name a few I had myself, and I did that same thing. I learned to understand that it was me, not them, and I was reflecting back something that has not healed in myself. So it took me a while to find my humanity and to step up and be like, "Okay, this bothers me. Well, let's fix it. I can't fix them, but I can fix the situation. Toilet seats up, put it down. Toilet paper's
Absolutely.
around, turn it back around. Whatever, just do it and move on with your life."
The toilet paper one,
I know
that's
that
real.
one.
That's r
Woo! It goes this way, okay? Sorry.
no, it's fine. And it's funny because somebody told me, "Colin, I will tell somebody about that," and somebody said, "Well, it depends on whether or not you have a cat." Because if you have a cat, the cat yeah, I never thought about that. I was like, "Wow, there's always another way to look at things."
There is, that is true. The cat I've seen videos of that. Cats will play with it. And or it's just your girlfriend turning it around to be a menace to you.
Yeah, yeah, that happens also on purpose.
But it's I like that because I love how you said starting with those small things. 'Cause we all try and get too far ahead sometimes and don't realize we're comparing ourselves to someone else who's in their 5th or 6th year of doing something.
Yes,
But you just gotta start small, simple. Like when I used to go to the gym, I would get frustrated. Why are these guys going 6, 7 days a week? Why are they getting big? Why can't I do this? And I realized I had to start by going for walks. Start off small. Now I'm going 6, 7 days a week, but I didn't start that way. I had to get my
exactly.
mindset. I had to grow it, grow my capacity. So it did
You know
take time.
yeah, it's funny because it's always like if you talking about going to the gym, never go to the gym on January 1, 2, or 3,
I
right?
don't go
Because
January through February.
because those days, everybody has New Year's resolution. I'm gonna start lifting weights, right? Go back the second week of January. It's empty again because sometimes people just go too hard and they don't start
I do.
slow. And one of the things, especially when you're talking about your mental fitness, you want to start slow. You don't want to start hard because you're going to crash and burn. You want to start slow. You want to start believing in yourself, and you want to start building what's called momentum. Right? You want to start making sure. I always say this: if the same thing that bothered you last year is bothering you this year, that's where you want to start. If the same thing been bothering you for 10 years, don't start there. Those are big ones, right? Just go for something that's been bothering you for something new, right? But that's where you want to start. If you're getting mad at the same thing year over year over year, those are the things you want to start working on.
That is so good. And that kind of takes me back to what you said earlier. Accept yourself as you are.
Hmm.
Can you
Yeah.
explain that a little more? Do you mean accept yourself as you are or where you are or kind of both?
I would say as you are, where you are. It's called being judgment free. And sadly, our judge is one of the worst attributes that we have because we either judge ourselves, other people, or the environment. And we want to stop judging. We want to have what's called blameless discernment. And blameless discernment is, for example, if you fail to get a promotion and your manager said, "Well, we're not gonna promote you this year because of these reasons." You can say, "Man, I messed up again, darn it," and have these negative emotions. Or you can have what we call blameless discernment, where you say, "Okay, I didn't get a promotion this year. I didn't do what I had to do. Let me work harder next year to do better." Right? So and then blameless discernment comes with no emotions. So you're not beating yourself up. You're not saying, "Oh, Colin, you messed up again, you fool." You're not doing that.
Youth.
So removing the judgment and accepting yourself as you are. Yes, I made a mistake. I didn't do what I had to do. I messed up. Okay, I messed up. But you're not blaming yourself. You're not giving yourself the negative emotions because the negative emotions, that's where we mess up. That's where we start to, that's where the feelings of inadequacy, the feelings of imposter syndrome, that's where those things take you the wrong way. You just want to state the facts. I messed up. I'm going to do better. But there's no blame. There's no negative emotions with it.
I love that. I'm going to take that even one step further for something I've learned this past year is that when something like that happens, then you even ask yourself, okay, what can I do better? Or ask that for the manager. What kind of plan can we create so that I can do better for next time so that I can get this?
Right,
To start
right.
asking engaging questions. I didn't know about that until this year.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
just on your thing, Justin, one of the things is don't wait till the end of the year. Don't wait till it's company evaluation time. Every 2, 3 months, you should be asking your manager, "How am I doing? Right? What can I do better?" Right? That should be an ongoing because you want your manager to know that your mindset is on these things. You want your manager to know that you care about these things, that you're trying to improve on a month to month basis. Because if he sees that intention, even if you fall short, he may still promote you because he knows you're trying. So you want your manager to know what you're trying to do, and you're working on it actively month to month to month.
Love that. Keep it, and it kinda keeps you at the top of the mind. He
Absolutely.
sees you, he remembers who you are, he knows your name now, you know? Kinda like
Absolutely.
a lot of companies sometimes you can get lost in the hustle and bustle, and then you get passed over, and then they don't know who you are, and it's just this cycle. I'm
Yeah, you go ahead.
it's like continue, I was asking something
Yeah,
different.
it's funny because, there's the belief that managers should not get to know their team members because you may have to let them go one day. You may have to, make hard decisions. And team members shouldn't really get to know the manager because you're there for work, not for personal stuff. That's absolute caca, right?
Hey,
You
I think that's bullshit.
absolutely need to have personal relationships because when you have personal relationships, when you know how many kids your manager has, or what their names are, and vice versa. It becomes personal, and then you start working together. Not working harder, working together. You both want to see your team succeed. And it becomes more of a I'm leaning in because my manager is a human being who I know. I'm leaning in because my team members are people who I know. So it absolutely has to get personal in the workplace.
I agree with that because then it gets more human and then you guys connect on a different level and your leadership changes. Not only how you lead them, but then how they understand how to lead themselves. And that
Absolutely. More
cohesive
human.
you really move like a team. Yeah, I have a question related to China versus America. So I know you moved out. So I'm interested to understand what are these differences in those work environments. Yeah, I want to understand how how management works, how they communicate, how the companies run. Are they from what I've heard, they kinda try and run things how America does, but I've heard things a little more tighter as well, tighter
Well,
ships with employees.
yeah. Well, there's okay. So there's. I'm going to come at this from two different angles. One
Yeah.
angle, if you're working for an MNC, a multinational corporation. So think about your Microsofts, your IBMs, your Johnson Johnsons, who are global companies who have offices all throughout the globe. And then you have your what you call your Chinese businesses that are primarily in China, or they maybe also have some products outside of China, but they're based in China. And I make that distinction because a Chinese company is born, bred, and run by Chinese people and Chinese culture. The MNCs typically they're run by the global culture. The home base is typically either in Europe or in the US, so they follow that standard. They try to have, although they're in different countries, following their global process. They have global HR, and that HR is so there are different standards. And it's very, very different. I think that in the multinationals, it's more of a where management allows employees to have opinions. We don't have opinions. It's more you can give feedback. For more Chinese companies, I've never worked in a Chinese company, but I've coached Chinese employees there.
Okay.
There's less opportunity for you to share your input. It's more, here's your assignment, do the work. And that's fine. That's fine. In more of the Western companies, employees have a little more freedom to, I'm going to say, debate, to ask questions. I know when I was working with a company about years ago, and my managers who were Chinese, whenever I asked questions, they said I was being difficult. I said, I'm not being difficult. I'm just asking questions. And why are we doing it this way? Why not the other way? Not in an aggressive, but just asking the same questions I would ask of my managers, my coworkers
They're
in the US.
against their
So
culture.
there's a little difference in that. We're more here, it's you more do your work, don't necessarily ask questions. You can ask questions, but don't necessarily ask questions, more do your work. So that part is different. But I can tell you the Chinese companies are very, very, very efficient. I mean, very efficient.
Well, you're not asking questions, so you're getting stuff done.
Yeah, and, this one thing that is so strange is here we use WeChat. So WeChat is very much like a WhatsApp plus a
It's
TikTok,
an all-in-one, isn't it? Has everything
all
you
in one.
need.
And the reason that I bring this point is because and I don't think you see this in the US. When I was in the US, my manager had my email address, my work email address. He had my mobile number, but that was just for emergency. But here, because of WeChat and everybody uses it, employee managers now can contact their employees 24/7. And about 10 years ago, you found that people went from working just on Monday to Friday to working almost 7 days now because the managers are contacting them because it's so easy now. So due to that, you're seeing a lot of spillover where it's really I want to call they call it the 9-9 or I forget what they call it, but
Oh, you're talking,
working
yeah, the 9 to 9 thing or something like
yeah, you
that.
work a lot more hours now. So you're seeing a lot more stress in the workforce these days, a lot more stress.
Feel that. I don't know if I would survive in Chinese culture because I always ask questions. I'm curious. I ask why. It would probably get rid of me pretty fast.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
it's different. But I can tell you that it's a very the environment here is very, very peaceful. Very, very peaceful for several reasons. I mean, there's no government, here, the people don't vote, for the government. It's a communist country.
Yeah, I see.
And if you take the thing about US, if you didn't have any political news on TV or in the newspaper, think about how peaceful it would be. It would be so peaceful. So peaceful. No CNN, no Fox News, none of that. I mean, none of that. It would be so peaceful.
It'd be different too. Ooh, yeah. That's like a dream of mine. Even though I block out a lot of stuff like the news, TikTok, social media stuff. But those
Yeah.
algorithms do get you.
And Justin, what you just said is so important because I tell people I no longer get angry, and I've been working on my mental fitness for years. I'm a mental fitness coach, so I've been working on this for years. And when I say I no longer get angry, I mean that. And people say, "Wow, Colin, that's great." Yeah, it's hard work. It is hard work to no longer get. To be fair, the only people on the planet that can get me mad are my kids. Okay, and that's just my kryptonite, okay? I'm working on it, but other things part of that is what you just said. I don't let certain things even into my mind. So I'll have somebody who will send me an article about Trump or about certain people. I'll tell them, "Hey, man, I appreciate please don't send me these things because I
I
don't
do
take
that
them in."
too.
Right? I don't in a rude way. I don't watch the news, right? I don't watch the news. And I don't if I know somebody is difficult, I don't talk to them, right? Because you have to really monitor what's coming in. It's sort of like the food you eat. If you're gonna eat junk food every day, you know what's gonna happen to your body, right? But if you eat pure, so for me, in order to maintain my mental fitness in a strong way, I just don't take things in. And I can tell you, it's been a long time since I had any drama and living drama free, people don't understand how living drama free is so free. When you
It's
don't have drama,
peaceful.
yeah, yeah, it's peaceful. So to your community, if you really want to build up your mental fitness and be drama free, look at what content you're taking in. Justin, I've only done TikTok. No, hold on a second. I've never used TikTok. I use X, Twitter, maybe twice a year. Because these things, enjoyment, whatever, but these things also contain a lot of negativity, right? And people are always yes, are always
If you
trolling,
can't
all that kind of
regulate
stuff.
that, then it's gonna affect you.
Absolutely. So if you think about it, if you had no politics, no Twitter, no X, nothing, just feeding this negative, how do you think your mindset would be? It would be great.
It would be amazing to think that humans have to just learn to be humans. We have to talk with each other. We have to say hi. We have to meet up in real life with no barriers like it used to be years and years ago. And now we have issues where people with their attention spans and mindsets all messed up. They can't hold conversations. They can't even say hi. We have
Can't even say
high
hi.
fences everywhere to block off your neighbors so we can't talk to each other because he's red or he's blue because she's black or she's white. And it's like, and all this is being fed by the algorithmic system too.
Yeah,
A lot of these issues
absolutely,
are social issues. Yeah. I talk
absolutely.
to people about that all the time. Like, it took me a long time to get my mindset where it is. I had to go on Facebook and remove stuff to try and get my attention, remove obscure things, unfollow people. I had to do that. It took time because there's so many things, especially for men, to try and get your attention with pictures of women and stuff, is to get you to click on stuff. I'm like, "What the hell? I don't remember signing up for this," but they're using anything they can to get your attention. I'm
Clickbait,
like,
yeah, man,
yeah,
clickbait.
clickbait, yeah. So I had to go like, I had this talk with a coach recently where he told everyone, like you said, "Go in there and clean up all your feeds, unfollow people, remove them from your life, and then you go in your real life and you do the same thing, and don't
Yeah,
let them back in your life." And I had
absolutely.
some people try and come back into my life, and I have to really think about, "Well, how was it before? Where were we before? Why aren't they in my life now?" Okay, you know?
Yeah, yeah. Well, I'm a coach, and so I try to, and not just because I'm a coach, but just I guess my nature. When folks want to come back in, I look at what they've done. Right? Have they changed? Because
Yeah.
sometimes they see your change and they want to mirror that. Because just like everybody else, like everybody else, sometimes we all have an aha moment. And I say maybe they're having their aha moment, and I want to support them. I want to help. Now again, that's what I do for a living. So mine is a little different. I'm very proactive, as you say, in helping people be human again. And that's by showing them that what we all have, if you think about yourself, picture yourself as a 5-year-old version of you, right? Very naive, very delicate, and have empathy. And picture them like that as well. And they're innocent. So sometimes when people are coming in, they want to come back in and they want improvement. I look at them as if to the 5-year-old version of themselves, where they're very naive and innocent, and they just need help. They just need help and support.
That is so true. I have that problem sometimes, but I'm starting to learn. Cause like I said earlier, like my nervous system is shot from all the years of just being in fight or flight, all the drugs, alcohol, drinking, everything. Just shot my nervous system. And I'm learning how to regulate in a better state of mind so that I can connect with people and understand that they're going through things also. And that was really hard for me for the longest time. I always look at everyone as, "Oh, get away from me," or "You wanna fight," or "What's going on?" It's all
Yeah.
made me so triggered. And I had to realize that it wasn't them, it's me. But
Well,
now I wanna think it's
congratulations.
them. Yeah.
Congratulations. And it's never too late. Like what you said, it is never them,
It
right? It is never
isn't.
them. It's
It
always, it's
isn't.
always, and it's like my wife says, has trouble with the kids. Colin, your kids are making me do this. I said, honey, the kids aren't making anything. It's all about how we react, right? All about how we react. So it's all about us.
So, I feel that God put those kids in your life, and for that reason, to try your patience, to see how far that you can push yourself. I've had that with friends who have kids too, those conversations, because kids are a lot to handle. They show different parts and sides of you, you
Yeah,
know?
yeah. No,
And
and
kids,
I look at I look at, my kids as my kids are
they're
the
just
universe.
kids.
Well, they're the universal gym, right? They're the equipment that have that one piece that has 5 different exercises on one piece, right? They work me, but
Yeah.
but they are the ultimate workout for me, and I catch myself a lot quicker, right? I may but I catch myself within 10 seconds and say, "Let me," yeah, so my kids they're young, right? They're 4 years old and 6 years old,
Yeah, oh,
but they
yeah,
they
yeah.
they know, yeah, they know daddy's not going to trip out. They know daddy may say, may have a loud voice here, but they've taught me a lot about how to not give them the same experience I had growing up, right?
Yeah, they're
Yeah.
part of your journey.
Yeah,
They're
yeah,
part of
absolutely.
your
So I'm very mindful of that. Very mindful of how we speak to them.
Yeah, I always feel the kids are the most powerful, most beautiful creatures in this world because all they want to know is why about stuff. They want to know how things work. They're so creative, they're so powerful, and we just have to feed that part of them and have
Yeah,
patience with them. And
yeah,
I don't have patience with my friends' kids sometimes, so I
yeah,
feel that, and I'm like, You're just kids. But I have to figure out how to communicate differently with them. But it's hard. 'Cause they're
Yeah,
just like,
yeah, it's funny because you mentioned they wanna know why, and at some point in my house, don't ask why, just do it, right? Don't ask you why,
parents are
just
like that too. Yeah, okay, man, it fucked me up. Lots of therapy, man. No.
yeah, yeah, so it's interesting.
But they're trying to learn how to build they're trying like that's why I tell people to like adults can learn so much from kids about who they are and how they show up because those kids are so curious. They ask why. And a lot of adults forget how to be curious. We forget about our creativity, but then we see it in these kids. We don't know how to react. It's such a gift and to see through them, to see how they're growing up. It's a beautiful thing.
Yeah,
Sidetracked.
okay. But one of the things, Justin, I think we can learn from kids, and the challenge is, as adults, we definitely have lost this ability. And just last night, I was a guest speaker at a Toastmasters club, and I was
No.
talking to them. This was about career development and career advancement. And I told them, I said, I want you to close your eyes and look at where your career is 5 years from now. And I said, before you do that, let's talk about something we've lost. That's called imagination. Because if
Yeah.
you've lost your imagination and you imagine your career 5 years from now, you're not thinking about a career that's truly fulfilling that you really want. So let's do a little imagination warm up first. So I helped them warm up their imagination so that when they thought about their future career, they didn't focus on the how. Right? Right? They only focused on the what they want to do, because, if
Ooh,
you're not able to think out the box and be bold, and the challenge is, as adults, we've been too educated and too taught to think about imagination. As kids, with 5, 6 years old, before you too much education,
yeah.
your imagination is open, and you're thinking about, man, you ask a 5-year-old kid, "What do you wanna be when you grow up?" "I wanna be a singer who's a star." All these different things.
Yeah, it's so
So, yeah.
beautiful.
So we've lost our necessary need to have a strong imagination.
And it's been bred out of us. We've been put into boxes so long that we've forgotten that we are in these boxes and we've forgotten how to get out of them. And forgotten that those
Absolutely.
boxes are social constructs. They don't actually exist, only within the constructs of our minds.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's powerful. And I always talk to people about that same thing. I love that you're doing that work as well to help adults remember their imagination. Because with that, we can build such a beautiful place in this world no matter where we are.
Yeah,
We'll
and
figure it out.
without it, we have nothing. Without imagination, I told them, "Without imagination, we're not here," because, your parents imagined what it would be like to have a family. And so without imagination, we wouldn't even be here. So, yeah, you must have a healthy imagination.
Yeah, that creativity is so powerful. And it has to be well channeled. Whew. So I was thinking about that. Like it can like build empires. It creates such amazing things. 'Cause without it, people start getting depressed. They don't understand why they get so depressed or anxiety or anxious.
Well, there's no there's nothing, the future doesn't look exciting. Right? So the future is not pulling you forward, right? You're just stumbling forward. You want to be excited about the future. You want to look forward to tomorrow, right? You don't want to go to sleep saying, "Oh my gosh, I don't want to." You want to look forward to tomorrow. You want to look forward to the future. You want to look forward to pull you. You don't be pushed from the past.
I love that because like people go to bed like, oh, Monday tomorrow, great. Oh, yay, it's Friday.
Yeah, yeah,
When
yeah,
I got out of that rat race, I got less depressed. Looking
yeah.
forward to
Yes.
every day, not just Monday, but I look forward to every day, doing something useful with purpose. Yeah, I love that. Well, Colin, I want to thank you so much for coming on here today. It's been a real treat having you. I'm glad we're able to make this happen. Before we go, what does it mean to you to be a human being?
Empathy. Empathy. I think to me, having empathy for myself, first of all, I have to have self empathy, because without having empathy for myself, I can't have empathy for anybody else. So I think empathy just really means caring and understanding what somebody's going through. I think that's what makes me human, because when I interact with other people, if I see that they have any negative emotions, I really feel their pain. Well, I can't say I feel their pain, but I understand that they're going through something, and it makes me want to help them to to recover and get over that. So I think what makes me human is my desire for people to go through life maintaining a strong mental fitness. And mental fitness is simply your ability to get through life in a positive instead of negative mindset. So empathy is my human superpower.
Love that. Thank you so much. I appreciate you sharing that with us.
Yeah.
And where can people reach out if they want to get in contact with you or work with you?
Yeah, so my the easiest way is just go to my website, www.oligye.com, oligye.com, or you can just do a Google search for Colin C. Thompson, Colin C. Thompson, and you'll find me.
Awesome. I'm gonna put that down the show notes so they can find it easier. And thank you so much for coming on here. It's been a real pleasure having you.
Okay, thank you, Justin.